So, more to come on that. And then I just want to wrap up with what's going on with the case with Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie. This has probably taken over your feeds as well. It's incredibly sad. Savannah is, of course, the host of the Today Show. Her mother went missing. She has not been, as of now, on the Today Show. She's, working the investigation alongside everybody, trying to figure out what happened to her mom. But let me break down what we know so far. So, Nancy is 84 years old, and she was last known to be at her home in the Tucson Catalina foothills area at roughly 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. on Saturday night, January 31st, 2026. And I've also seen different reports that her children are the ones who dropped her off at her home that night. However, on Sunday, February 1st, Nancy didn't show up to church, which was described as very unusual. Unusual enough that other people took notice. So later that morning, a church friend alerted the family, which then prompted her children to go check on her and look for her. So around noon, when they realized that she was gone and she wasn't at the house, the family contacted 911 so that they could report her as missing. Later that night, the sheriff's office initiated search and rescue efforts using helicopters, drones, infrareds, all sorts of different resources. And the sheriff who's working the case, Chris Nanos, has emphasized that Nancy was of great sound mind, that she did not suffer from dementia. This isn't a wandering off type situation, no like fugue state, Walter White, nothing like that. He also said that she has very limited mobility, that she can only walk 50 yards unassisted. So they knew that something was going on here, but they weren't quite sure what it was. However, after the search, the authorities communicated concern, saying that the circumstances are in fact suspicious, but they were very limited in what they publicly shared at that time. Then on Monday of this week, that's when a lot of the updates started pouring in, because at that point, the case was publicly framed as a suspected abduction, saying that the authorities are treating the home as a potential crime scene and criminal investigation. The sheriff also indicated, again, that they do not believe that she left willingly. She didn't leave on her own. The situation is being handled as a crime, and he was using language such as, "We do in fact have a crime and a crime scene." They also were stressing the health urgency of it all because the authorities emphasized she's going without critical daily medication, making time in all of this obviously a very huge factor. So then fast forward to Tuesday, we got more updates. As of Tuesday, police found and are processing DNA evidence that is connected to the investigation. Law enforcement sources say that there was blood found inside the home, which that, of course, not only adds to the concerns of foul play, but cements why they so early on said, oh no, this looks like an abduction. This is a crime scene because there was blood at the scene, which now that blood is being processed. Multiple outlets are continuing to reiterate that the investigators believe she has been abducted or taken against her will, potentially that she was taken overnight after she was dropped off at her home Saturday night. They kept saying there are indicators of a crime. She absolutely did not leave voluntarily, yet they are remaining very tight-lipped about the specific evidence that they have found, aside from the blood, that leads them to that conclusion. Now, I will say this, even though they are remaining tight-lipped, in addition to the blood that was found inside the house and what is ultimately what made them label this as a crime scene, there was also blood on the porch. And there's some video, which I'll show to all of you watching YouTube right now, where you can actually see these blood droplets on the porch.